Wrenn Schmidt, who plays Megan Holzer. How you guys doing? Okay, so Robert, let's just get it going. Outcast. Hi. Outcast is set in a small rural American town. What do you think that setting does to make this such a universal story for everyone?
This is a world where there's a lot of things going on behind closed doors.
Yes.
It's a very personal phenomenon. One of the things that I find most interesting about it is that you can be in this hellish world, in this dark room, and just step on the other side of the wall and take a break from it. It's not like The Walking Dead where it's
this all-encompassing thing. And to have that in a small town where everyone is so intimately involved in everyone's lives, and it's often those things that go on behind closed doors that everyone is finding out about and gossiping about and learning about, it kind of adds a cool atmosphere to the overall story. And to see such a tight-knit community dealing with this threat, I think makes it that much more interesting.
Yes. Chris? Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Am I on?
You're on. Can we hear Chris, everybody?
Hello? Testing. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah.
Outcast began as a comic, and the fans of it are very vocal on social media.
Yes, they are.
And they're actually loving the similarity between the comic and the show. How do you keep that balance as the show progresses? Is there going to be a time where you have to kind of break out a little bit, or are you going to stay close to source material?
Well, I think if you start with source material as good as we have,
Yes.
you know, if someone says, are you interested in adapting Robert Kirkman's new comic to television, you would be a fool to stray too far from that. I mean, Robert gave us a great, roadmap, and there's a narrative through line that he's following. He has a vision of where this story is going to go and what the journey for these characters is. So it's sort of a two-part answer, and then part one is yes, we're going to stick as close to the roadmap that Robert has laid out for us as possible, because we would be idiots to do otherwise. That said, Robert has always been very open about comics and television are very different forms. That the comic is its own specific medium, and television is its own specific medium, and he's given us a lot of trust with the characters he's created to let them grow and fill the screen and fill this world in their own way. And we've tried to start doing that already with characters like Chief Giles, who in the first run of the comics isn't a huge character, and we got an actor like Reg E to play him, and it's like, we're not going to let this guy sit around and do nothing.
Right.
So it's both. I mean,
Although he would be equally as compelling sitting
just
around doing
sitting there,
Yes, he would.
As you
doing
can see.
nothing.
Just look at him.
Well, since we're going there, let's go to the Emmy winner for Best Guest Actor last year. Come on now.
Winner and
nominated
nominee.
again this year because he's that fabulous.
Thank you.
How do you feel your portrayal of Chief Giles is different from the comic book? And what does the chief really think of this town? Like, he's kind of straddling the fence where he's law and order and he's all about the civil side of things, and there's spiritual things going on that he has to kind of get in line with. So how is he handling that?
Well, to answer the first question, how he differs from the comic book, there's more of him, and he's black. But I love this character. I love my little small town, like the chief does of Rome. The chief loves his town. It's his home, and he is truly, truly a part of it, and he wants to protect it in the best way he can. And sometimes that means following the rules, and sometimes that means bending them for his dear childhood friend, Jonathan Anderson. And I love the wonderful human, fully three-dimensional character Robert and Chris and all of our writers have given. And I love that I've become to love the little town and its fight against this indescribable phenomena that's happening, and it's tearing the town apart.
Yeah.
And it's funny how it reflects on our larger society, because there's a psychotic presence turning our
Our world upside down.
What are you saying, Reg?
Tell us how you really feel.
Who's that person? You want to name him?
Oh, I don't want to call him by names, but his initials are Donald Trump.
I love that answer so very much. I have intros for everyone, and this is what I was going to read about Philip. He's one of Britain's most popular actors who has made Reverend Anderson's tests and trials very real. And I think that is a very true testament to what you're bringing to this role. Where is he? Is he in the midst of how big is his crisis of conscience right now? Because he thought he had rid the town of some bad forces, and then when he partners up with Kyle, perhaps not. So...
he's in a bit of a state, really, I should say. It's interesting. It's a whole journey that we've all been on as characters for the first season, and we're about to embark on the second, and we're still recovering from the first. I don't know about you lot.
Yeah.
It's a great journey. Being obviously British, I thought that the last person I would have cast as a Southern preacher,
Southern Baptist preacher,
would have been me. But it's a challenge, like all things as actors. You know, you look at something, you think, well, why not? You know, that's what I trained to do, is be different characters. So we went for it, and I had a good time. I had a very good time pretending to be American and staying in the accent even when I wasn't working.
Yeah.
You know, which is a bit confusing for my children. Obviously, I was coming home going, yo, all right, high five, daddy. And they were like, shut up, dad, just be dad, all right?
Oh, God.
Patrick,
Yeah.
I've been a fan, first of all, since Almost Famous. I think you're brilliant. And he deserves a clap for that because he's brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you.
What I'm loving, scream it out. What I'm loving in your portrayal of Kyle is that you're able to convey his heart and his immense pain without any words. There's so many scenes where you're just literally walking through an environment.
Well, we give him some words.
Well, he has some, but I'm saying the ability to convey when he doesn't have the words is amazing. Like, your face just shows everything. Kyle goes to some pretty dark places. What do you think affects him more? Is it the ones in his mind where he's remembering all of the stuff with his mom? Or is it the actual horrors that he's literally seeing in front of him from day to day?
That's a good question. I think Kyle's built up somewhat of an armor over the years. I mean, he suffered some heavy trauma when he was young, and part of his redemption through that whole process was finding his wife and having a child, and then that's also been torn away from him.
Right.
So I think that the ghosts of the past are what haunt him probably the most as he's walking around. All the stuff that's happening now can be tragic, but I think it's some of it is stuff he's seen before, and it all triggers whatever it triggers the memories, and those have to do with what he wants in life and where he wants to be rather than where he is now.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sure.
Hi, Wrenn.
Hello.
Hi, honey. You are brilliant as well. What I loved about Megan, just from even when I saw the first episode, I thought, that's the kind of sister you'd want to have. Like, she seems like she's solid, she's got her stuff together, she's making sure he has groceries, this is great. Then we see this dark side of her, this past that she has, and she's still able to be that loving and that caring and that concerned about her brother, even though she's had this horrible thing happen to her in the past. Why do you think she stayed in Rome after it happened? How did she find her strength to go on in spite of it, especially when that thing returns?
Well, I think Megan's never wanted to define herself as a victim. You know, I think something bad happened to her. Bad things happen to people, and I feel like she made a really strong decision to move on, and she decided, this isn't going to define my life. And I think she feels like she's built a really great life for herself with her husband, Mark Coulter, played by David Denman, and her... he's great. And Callie McClincy, who plays Holly Holter, our daughter. So I think she really has pieced her life together, and very much, once she's done that, she focuses on everyone else.
Yeah.
You know, so she's always got projects, she's always got other things going on, and also Rome, West Virginia it's all she's ever known. And I think she is very much a small town woman who enjoys being a big fish in a small pond, knowing everyone, being involved in everyone's lives for better or for worse, depending on how you take that. But what's most fascinating to me about her is that she's got this raw Achilles heel that I think she very much thought, you know, that
She'd
wound is
taken care of
healed.
it.
I've put that to bed, and I love how disarmed she is when this thing from her past comes back and, you know, kind of, you know, clocks her from the side.
The way it was shot was brilliant too, because I was very intrigued who was in that red car. I said, what is happening? What is going on? And then by the time,
Yeah.
well, I'm not telling stuff, I'm sorry. Somebody in a red car, you're gonna find out later. I hope you guys, sorry about that.
No, that one
It-
aired.
that aired.
That
That
one
aired.
aired.
That,
You're okay.
yeah.
I binged. I need to make sure I don't tell anything I'm
No,
not
you're
supposed
good.
to tell. So
No,
you
you're
guys,
safe. You're
so
safe.
I literally was the way it unfolded, you know, because again, I'm watching Megan's journey as she's the well-adjusted one. Rome is
Right.
crazy,
Well,
but
that's what
she's
she wants you to
right.
think.
But
Yeah,
she's
well,
like,
maybe
"It's
not as
fine."
well adjusted as you think she is.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And so when I saw all this happening, it looked like, wow, the way they shot it was just amazing. Okay, hey Patrick, you get the mess kicked out of you a lot on the show.
Yeah, I do.
You do. What is
Yeah,
this-
more to come.
what is the stunt situation like for you guys on the set? And how much of your own stuff do you do?
Usually the face punches, we make sure Patrick's in for those.
Yeah. Robert's like, oh, they're gonna punch his face? Yeah, get Patrick in there. I think we want to see him do that.
Double can't do that, sorry.
No, I just want to say before he answers, it's like Patrick is incredibly well-trained and physical, and I'm not even joking.
No, I'm laughing at him laughing,
He
yeah.
and the stunt coordinator work together incredibly well, and the fact that he's good at it makes us want to kick his ass constantly.
He's really good at it.
I'm great at getting my ass kicked.
Okay.
Yeah, I end up being in there on things that I really shouldn't be, like breaking through glass aquariums and knocking my head on pavement and things like
You
that.
put a dent in the Reverend's car at
I
one
put a
point.
dent in the
Yes,
car.
you did, and the insurance will be onto you very, very soon. See you in court.
Yeah, I end up doing a lot of it. And Phil, you luck out because you've got a great double.
I've got a fantastic stunt double. He's called Duke, right?
Duke.
How cool is that? He's called Duke, and he looks like Daniel Craig.
Does.
So during the off season, which they don't know, I've been teaching him to act, so that I can take long weekends off and go to Pinehurst and play golf.
One of the most
So-
entertaining
so-
things is to watch this man on a set when he has to do stunts.
You see, one gets to an age when one is a youth like Patrick. One is the first to put their hand up, going, "I'll do this stunt. Look, climb up a cliff, set yourself higher, set yourself on fire. Yeah, that's me. Lovely." When you get to 53, and they go, "How are you with horses?"
Duke?
Duke. How are you with swimming? Why are you talking to me, Chris? This is Duke's number. He'll be swimming. No, it's fun-ish.
Hey Robert.
Yeah, where's my stunt double?
So Sydney's the devil, right? That's the devil. That's 100% the devil. That's Lucifer. It's him.
Seems like it. He has a lot of devil-like qualities.
Interesting.
He's devilish.
He is devilish.
If you were to look the devil up in the dictionary, you might find a picture of Sydney, maybe.
I think it's masterful
It's the hat.
casting. It's masterful casting too, because he's so likable as a human being. Right? And so when you see him in that role, you kind of want to not believe that he is actually the devil, but I believe he's actually the devil. Yeah, that's what I believe.
Where is he? by
He's
the way?
amazing. Yeah, wasn't he supposed to be?
Where is
I don't
Fred?
He only works Saturdays.
Yeah, he only works Saturdays.
So you guys have been traveling a bit, right? Promoting the global launch of this.
Yes, ma'am.
How is that?
Been all over the world.
Yeah, how has that been, this traveling, and what's the coolest things you guys have experienced or favorite place to visit while you've been traveling? How the cons been treating you and the press lines been treating you?
I liked going to Rome. Seeing the
Yeah, that was
history of
awesome.
Rome in the city skyline is pretty fascinating.
Well, and that the venue that we premiered it in Rome, the red carpet, was the Vatican, was
What?
like right at the end of the street.
yes.
And it sort of felt like here we are having our sort of demonic possession show in the shadow
In the
of St.
shadows.
Peter's Basilica.
Yeah.
I got a job with the Pope. Start in about 6 months' time.
Nice.
As the new Reverend for the Vatican, taking over
New exorcist.
exorcisms.
I really loved it when they did the translating because they'd ask us an interesting question, and Reg and I especially, we both can, well, I want to speak for myself, can go on and
no,
on.
you're right,
It was
you're right.
amazing because they just look like they were scribbling on pieces of paper.
Your answer.
Yeah, and then you'd finish, and they'd be like, da 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 da. Megan Holter, da da da. It was amazing. I loved that part.
Or when you would try to make a joke and they would translate it and they would just sit there.
They'd all just be sitting there.
Oh
like,
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Did they get that one?
That's what
It's
usually
like,
happens.
I
when-
love this,
yeah.
that in Italy you can smoke indoors.
Ah.
It's a very civilized country.
Reg, I kind of want you just to talk forever. I don't.
Agreed.
Whatever
Us
you want
too.
to. You want to tell us anything else about your life or
No,
read
in
a
real-
Dr. Seuss book? I don't know
In
anything
real
at
time,
all.
you would
Just
be
tell us
like-
what you ate for breakfast.
What'd you eat for breakfast, Reg?
Actually, I didn't. I didn't have anything. I'm starving. That's what.
That backfired.
We can totally get you some food. This is a breakfast situation.
Well, did you say?
I did. What do you want? Let's order it
breakfast
now.
in bed? maybe?
Oh, y'all, Reg just said I could get it. I don't know if you realize what just happened.
Reg Vet.
Oh, I just got a request, Reg. We would like you to rap in German.
Oh, okay.
Oh snap.
Okay,
You
first I
guys,
have
it's about to
set
happen.
this up. Back in the 90s when, unlike now when all the black Brit is the new black, back in the 90s the rappers were taking all of the actors' jobs, and so Harry Lennox, Charles Dutton, myself, and a couple other people started a rap group. And it was called NWD, Niggas with Degrees. And we had everything. We had nicknames. My nickname was Rap Exegesis. Charles Dutton was Pop Q.
Yes.
Roger Gwynver Smith was I'ma Come a Louder. We had everything but actual raps. We had beef. We had the Ivy League brothers in the rap group had beef with the historically black college and universities brothers. You know, the Yaleys weren't happy with the Howard University. It was all. We had everything but actual raps, except for this one rap.
Except for this one. Here we go, everybody.
Hansel und Gretel verliebten sich in Wut. Es war so finster und auch so bitter kalt. Sie kamen in ein Haus und wollen selber gut und sein. Wer mag das Erbe von diesen Hausen sein? Ist finster und bitter kalt. Finster, Pfefferkuchenhaus, da schaut eine alte Hexe raus. Sie lockte Kinder im Pfefferkuchenhaus.
Yes! Yes!
So that was our rap, that was our rap about the original white man. The original Anglo-Saxon.
You know what?
You know, the Anglo-Saxon from Germany. But unfortunately, it didn't take off.
Oh!
Yeah, it didn't go viral.
You just made my day, I'll tell you that much.
We
There's
went
still
back
time.
to doing Shakespeare.
I think it's about to go viral.
We are going to open it up to you guys. What are your questions? Right there in the booth.
One more for Reg E. When you left the last show, you had a few choice words to say. Starting a theme, anything in mind yet for this show?
That was so much fun. What was fun about that is that I started a tradition we have on Outcast, and I kept it going back on that other show. Whenever we do a really good scene, especially our Mr. Glenister here, but whenever we do a scene, we'll go, all right, that's it, it's in there. No need for another take, it's in there. And so we'll just say, it's in there.
It started with Michael Caine was notorious for only doing a couple of takes before he lost interest and just went home. And so he used to go, okay, let's do another take. And Michael Caine would go, no, why? What do you need? You don't need another take. Look at the rushes tonight. And you'll see that my performance is all in the rushes. It's all there. You don't need another take. I'm going home now, and we'll do the same tomorrow, and it's all going to be there. So this is kind of how the rumour started. So I told this to Reggie, so we now have this running gag on every set. And Lonnie, our esteemed director, I think he was directing Rob Lowe last week, and he was doing a few takes, and it wasn't quite working out, and he just went up to Rob Lowe and went, give me one with a look. And Rob Lowe went, yeah, okay. So it's going viral around every film and TV set in the land. We want somebody at some point to go, do it with a look.
As you can see, this cast, I'm fortunate. I've only been involved in shows with good casts, and this one, we just truly enjoy being around each other. Late nights. Why do the devil only come out at night? Can't the devil come out at 10 in the morning?
Reg and I have done some research, and we found quite a few devils that start at 10 and finish by 2 p.m. Definitely. Quite a lot of them are living in South Carolina.
We'll look into that.
Another question. Yes, right here.
Usually when you shoot like horror TV shows or movies, some creepy things happen in the behind the scenes. So do you have some story about that?
Creepy things that happen behind the scenes?
Creepy things happen behind the scenes.
I feel like more often it's ridiculous things
Yeah.
that happen behind the scenes. It's like you're filming something that's supposed to be really scary, and ultimately when it's all cut together, it definitely is. But it's so technical. I mean, all I'll say for Megan is wet wipes. I'm not joking. It's like I've never been so intimate with wet wipes in my life.
Weren't you on set when there was like a police chase that came through?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. So we were filming the end of episode 4, and it's just me and massive amounts of crew people, and then you start hearing this yelling kind of off to the side, and me being a dork, I was like, oh, somebody's playing Capture the Flag over there, that's cool. And then all of a sudden we hear people start yelling, stop, stop, and then this dude comes barreling through our set, this fugitive, followed by 2 very huffy puffy, bumbling police officers. They're like, we got him, hold on, move aside. But yeah, it was crazy. And nobody called cut.
That's on film. That's on film.
Why didn't you tackle
this guy?
I don't think the actual chase through the set is on film, but I definitely was shooting when it started, and I kept thinking any minute somebody's gonna stop me. No. I also almost got hit in the head with a flower pot. I think that was also in 4. They had these massive clay flower pots hung from the restaurant ceiling, and I was standing after we wrapped with the director talking about those safety goggles that Megan wears at the end of 4, and I swear to God, I just felt this wind go by my face.
Wow.
And then the flower pot, not even a second later, smashed.
There was the
into
crow.
table. Oh yeah, well, we should talk about the crow.
That was eerie. This crow was
Not just any crow, this was a Harry Potter crow.
Potter crow.
And boy, did it play up
All
to
it
its
had
diva
to do
status.
was look left. And this is of course, at the end of the night, because the devil only comes out at night. And the crow would not look left to say this. This crow was like, fuck you. Crow wouldn't, and we had people dancing off. I even joined them. I was dancing with the crow wranglers.
You
trying
should have
to get
rapped
the
at
crows
it. That
into-
probably would have got it.
I had to be quiet. You couldn't have a rapping crow. But you guys were hilarious because they're acting.
We were in the background, it blurred in the black background. I think it was Duke's night off, obviously. Must have been. Reggie's right, this crow is just sort of and when you actually see it cut together, literally the crow does that. You see these blurred characters of us, and then we're out. And I'll say, an hour and a half we waited for that king crow to give us a look left.
And it was worth every minute of it.
It was so worth
Crow
it.
was
It's
Michael
such a
Caine.
great
He was like,
shot.
it's in there.
Yeah.
I'll
it's
do it
in
with
there.
a look.
I'm
It's in
not
there.
doing the crow stuff again, all right? It's in there. Oh, Harry Potter. I'll do movies usually. I don't do telly.
Next question. I'll go here, yes, and I'll come to you next. Yeah. Yes, you, hon.
I think some questions for Robert. Kind of a deep question, but I learned before that in order to exorcism, the person must get okay from that.
Oh.
Now is Reverend the show. What's keep Reverend on the level like that?
Right, yeah, there's no Catholicism in this show. The decision was made that I just felt that most exorcism stories do deal with Catholicism, and there is this very structured, very regimented, process.
It's a whole ritual involved with it.
Yeah, and there are all those things that you see in other movies with the Vatican's involvement and all this other stuff, and that just didn't interest me. I feel like we've seen all that kind of stuff before, and there is an amazing tradition of Baptist exorcisms in the South, And so that's the kind of stuff that I wanted to explore. It's a lot more messy. It's a lot more think on your feet, creativity on the spot, and it's a lot different. And so I wanted to kind of bring that to the screen to give this show a little bit of a different flavor than all of those other exorcism stories. Yes. Southern Baptist, American, yeah.
Yes, right here.
Question for Philip. How do you think Gene Hunt and your previous characters would both live in the Outcast role?
Oh, God. I don't think he would. He'd sweat a lot in his big camel coat. No, I think Gene Hunt would think he was more in an episode of, what was that show? The Dukes of Hazzard. That's where Gene Hunt belongs, probably. As Boss Hogg.
Next question.
I have a question for Reg.
Sure.
What would our
Wrenn, what is your question?
What would our rap names be? If you had to give each of us a rap name, what would it be?
That's a great question.
I don't know.
A keka?
I'm not going to say that. I didn't give us our rap. I'm like not the rap person at all. I had once said on when I was on The Wire, I did this interview, and I said, rap is like the modern goon show. And then I went back to work forgetting Method Man was on the show.
Nice.
And he actually talked to me for like 3 hours and changed my mind about what I felt about rap.
Yeah.
Because at the time I thought rap, I didn't like the misogyny, I didn't like the rampant materialism, I didn't like the macho sexuality, and I thought that history would view that period of popular culture as just a kind of another type of symptom of the black anxiety that comes from 400 years of living with white supremacy in America. So, but then talking with Method Man and being educated by a vast amount of people, I came to respect it in a whole new different way, and I came to really listen to people like Black Thought, like Hamilton now is the most amazing. And so when I went, my girlfriend was like, okay, because I know a lot about colonial American history. So she said, okay, there's going to be some rules. You're going to behave, you're not going to be bad, you're not going to make any comments, you're not going to talk about what's not true. I was like, okay. And I was so blown away by the ingenuity and by the amazing wordplay and the subversive thing about the show of having this cast of black and mixed and brown people portraying these rampant slaveholders and really it makes American history
cool.
Or what were they really saying when they're singing Rise Up? Your brother's on his knees, you rise up. Your sister's on her knees, you rise. What are they really? Are they really talking about Alexander Hamilton? Are they talking about something? What am I talking about this for? It's about
it's a brilliant Broadway play.
People, we're talking about Outcast. We talk about the devil, and the devil is walking the streets. The darkness is spreading. So we have to, you have to watch.
We have to rise up.
Reg.
We have to rise. Thank you. That's the writer.
Two more questions. Yes, sir. You in the front there.
This is a question for the producers. Although you said it a small town, you looked at it has a lot of backstory. When you mentioned the devil and submission, you kind of mentioned John Milton's Paradise Lost. So are you broad enough to scope in terms of the story, or just focusing on the small town throughout the whole series?
Well, you mentioned some kind of literary reference, so it's all you.
Well, no, it's about the scope of the show, and it's about the scope of the phenomenon, and I think where we are focused on now is this town of Rome, and it's this group of people in this town. It's how it affects Kyle Barnes, how it's damaged his life, his struggle to get the things he wants back in his life. The end of the pilot is his call to arms. If there is something out there I can combat. So the focus of the show for now is very much on these people in this town, in this world. Now, that said, evil is universal, the devil is universal. These, it doesn't seem to make sense that what's going on would be unique to these people in this town. So I think there is room for this world to grow, but we're going to have to wait to see what Robert does with the comics.
I would say this story has a massive scope, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the scope of the story regionally is going to expand exponentially. I think that you can have far-reaching ramifications happening within Rome, within these characters. You can have this very personal story affect the entire planet in a certain way, and that's the kind of thing that we'll be getting into as the series progresses.
Well, and it was one of the things I liked and responded to about the show was its focus on this town and these people, that there was never going to be cut to the Vatican,
Right.
cut to the war room at the Pentagon.
Right.
How are we? That's not the way the show was designed.
Cut to Reverend's house in the
right.
Bahamas.
Yeah. There you go, sir.
Cut to the chief in Cuba.
It's 2 a.m.
Go ahead, sir.
Speaking of Baptist style exorcism, there will be another TV series starting in a few weeks about exorcism, the exorcism. What do you think about with kids friendly, and do you feel kind of a pressure, like it was a match to
Oh, I mean, no pressure whatsoever. I mean, I think it's going to be a great show. I think that, the source material of the movie, I think we, all take inspiration from that as it's, the high watermark of the exorcism genre. That said, we're trying to subvert every single thing done in The Exorcist. This is a extremely different show that's going on an extremely different path. And so while I do say this is an exorcism show, I think that from minute one, you'll see how different this show is from The Exorcist. So it's going to be offering a completely different kind of experience. And so in that respect, I don't see them as being competitors at all.
The biggest pressure I feel is not the competition with other genre shows of this type. The biggest pressure I feel is doing justice to the material that Robert's given us.
One more. Oh, okay. I'm going to let him go because he hasn't asked anything. One more, sir. Your last question.
With regards to having seen the movie Angel Heart a long time ago, do you see any parallels? Were you ever inspired by this film?
Who is that directed at? Is there just
First of all, the writer and the director, and then
Which one's Angel Heart?
it's
That's
Mickey
Lisa
Rourke,
Bonet. Lisa Bonet.
Lisa Bonet. Yeah, I mean, I saw it in the movie theater when it came out, so I don't.
that Southern feel.
Yeah, that sort of Southern Gothic, and it's because I don't really recall it. There was no direct influence. Like, oh, we'll do this. Was like, remember Angel? How cool that was. But yeah, well, I think when you work in that world, so when you work in the South, it has that atmosphere to it. It has that oppressive, the humidity of it, the sort of oppressive nature of it. I think anything that's kind of done in that world tends to live in that world and has that feel. Yeah.
I grew up in the South. I didn't need Angel Heart.
Also, I feel like Outcast is more hopeful than Angel Heart is. Angel Heart, all is lost. It's just a dark tale. Where I feel like in this show, there are dark aspects and there are dark forces at work, but there is a hopeful spirit to what this show is about. And I think that's a major difference between the two pieces. You guys, thank you so much for this time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Outcast creators and cast. Awesome.